And welcome back to the Flow Sports Fix on this Thursday evening. Are you ready for your round 10-9 winners? Well, here they are with the Statman.
Yes, indeedy. Thank you very much, Clayton. Let's have a look at the AFL matches that are coming up this weekend. And we're going to start at the beginning because that probably makes the most sense. The beginning being Friday night. What about this to start us off? The Brisbane Lions hosting Richmond, who will head to the Gabba for the first time, I believe, since they were successful on grand final day last year against Geelong. But the last time these two sides clashed at the Gabba, you may remember, Brisbane prevailed over Richmond in the qualifying final. So, look, I'm not sure what to make of this. One thing we do know is that Richmond are a little bit undermanned at the moment. They were very lucky to get over the line last week. Brisbane, well, they just sort of coasted through their match last week, and they look to be going much the better at the moment. So, with that said, I'm going to go with the Brisbane Lions to win this one by 27 points. However, I wouldn't be going to put a line through Richmond just yet. All right, other matches. So let's turn our attention to Saturday. And what about this game? Carlton taking on Hawthorn. Now, at the moment, Hawthorn are just absolutely rubbish. They were no good last week at all against the bottom side, North Melbourne, handing them their first win. So if North Melbourne can get over the top of the Hawks down in Tasmania, where they play very good footy, traditionally, the Hawks, then I would expect Carlton to get over the top of them at the MCG. Should be a lay-down there. Geelong, they will host the Gold Coast Suns at GMHBA Stadium. Then this is pretty ABC as well, you would think. The Suns just don't quite have the cattle at the moment. A few injuries in their camp, which isn't helping their cause. Not a lot of big men to choose from, which will hurt them against the Cats because Geelong are absolutely stacked with them at both ends of the ground. And I would suggest that the Cats will win this one by plenty. Now, at the Adelaide Oval, here we go. The Crows back home taking on the rampaging Melbourne, who, whilst I wouldn't suggest they're setting the world on fire, they're 9 wins from 9 starts. So you can't necessarily say they're in bad form, but they've been doing this winning whilst not necessarily at the top of their game. I think they'll be too good for the Crows, even at Adelaide Oval. The Crows will hang in and give a good account of themselves. But Melbourne's top-end talent at the moment, as we've seen when they're under pressure at any stage in games, they've just got too many stars that stand up and to get the job done. Petrarca, Oliver, Max Gawn. Then you've got the forwards at either end of the ground. Ben Brown's in that side now. Tom McDonald's been good. At the back, Lever and May. They're just very, very good balanced footy side at the moment, Melbourne. They'll be too good for the Crows. The Western Bulldogs will take on St Kilda, a big win for the Doggies last week against Port Adelaide. They may be a little stiff, sore and sorry for themselves after that, but make no mistake about it, they will be too good for the Saints, who are just a little bit off the bit this season and they've had their chances to be sort of back in the fray. They could have beaten Geelong last week, the Saints, but the Bulldogs will win this at Marvel Stadium in the Saturday evening time slot. Then we head west to where Fremantle will do the hosting against the Sydney Swans, and this should be an absolute beauty at Optus Stadium. I'm not sure who's going to win this game, to be quite honest with you. Fremantle, we know, play much better on their home deck. They've been good in patches this year, the Dockers, but over 4 quarters just haven't been quite good enough. The Swans have been more good than bad. They've had their downtimes, but certainly been pretty good. They're a young side. It's a long, long way to the west. And if there's an upset in this round, I think I'm going to call this one a minor upset. I'm going to go with the home team, Fremantle, to find a way to get through the Sydney Swans here. I just think they've got some tools that are starting to come good. Their midfield's been pretty good, Fremantle. And I think they've got their foot on the till, so to speak, of beating a good side. So this week against Sydney, they really must win. It's a must-win for Fremantle, absolutely. So let's tip the Dockers. On Sunday, let's go to GWS taking on the West Coast Eagles at Giants Stadium. The Giants, well, they should have beaten Richmond last week. That was the one that's got away. Will that dent their confidence sufficiently to allow the Eagles to get a win away from home? They actually don't play too bad at Giants Stadium. Traditionally, they've won a few games here. A Nick Naitanui goal on the siren one year, I remember, was a thrilling win for the Eagles when they were down and out and given absolutely no hope whatsoever. They were good enough against the Crows last week. They didn't set the world on fire. This is an interesting one as well. It's a toss of a coin, really. I just think the West Coast Eagles' goal-scoring power with Jack Darling in a bit of form might be a little too much for the Giants, who have got some injury concerns still. So let's go with the Eagles in that one. Collingwood taking on Port Adelaide. Now, here's a stat for you. Collingwood currently sitting on 999 losses in their lifetime, in their existence, so to speak. Wouldn't Port Adelaide just love handing Collingwood their 1,000th loss? There's no love lost off the field between these two clubs. Whether that translates to some on-field action, I'm not sure. I guess we'll find out. This is at the MCG, Sunday, 2:50 p.m. Port Adelaide won't be wearing the prison bars. We know that. Collingwood will be wearing the black and white on their home deck. They haven't been much good this year, Collingwood, let's be honest. I can't see that changing, actually. Port Adelaide back into a bit of form during the showdown. I think they'll be too good for Collingwood and beat them at the MCG, although one thing we know about Port Adelaide is they travel about as well as a bucket of prawns in the sun. So they'll have to improve in that area, but surely they'll be good enough to beat Collingwood. And the last match of the round is a very interesting one now. North Melbourne chock full of confidence after a win down in Tasmania last week against the Hawks. They'll play at Marvel Stadium, I guess one of their grounds, a ground that they know well, against the Bombers, who are the home team in this game. They had a good win last week too, the Bombers, and I just think Essendon might be ready to make a run. I think they're a reasonably good footy side, Essendon. I'm not sure that they're going to be top 8 material, but they're certainly better than where they are on the ladder currently. I think they might just get the job done here against North Melbourne and win, I won't say very comfortably, but comfortably enough. 5 or 6 goal in this one for mine. That is my tips this week. A quick recap for you. That is the Brisbane Lions over Richmond, Carlton over Hawthorn, Geelong over the Gold Coast Suns, Melbourne over the Crows, the Western Bulldogs over St Kilda, Fremantle over the Swans, the West Coast Eagles over the Giants, Port Adelaide over Collingwood, and Essendon over North Melbourne. Happy tipping. Good luck to your team, and back to you, Clayton.
Thanks, Jase. Good luck with those tips. Hopefully you'll get your 9 round 10 winners, folks. Jase and the Flowman, they'll be coming back in just a sec. They're going to be discussing the 666 rule. Its effect in local football and, well, is it a good or a bad thing? Find out when we have a chat with the guys coming up next.